Hi, welcome from Australia. My name is Chrissy, and in this video I'm going to be giving you a channel guidance reading for the 23rd of January. So I'm just going to close my eyes and we'll get started and see what energies and what messages come through just to keep people going heading into that new year period. Now I'm still getting feelings of despair, dismay, disheartened, disillusioned, and these are all kind of almost pessimistic feelings, I guess you could say. They're sort of more on that negative end of the scale. So what has to happen is there has to be shifts made. So we have to be the ones that kind of make these shifts. So I'm always talking about getting around good support, getting around people that understand you. There's no point being around people who you're going to keep arguing with, because that's just always usually going nowhere. It's like just tit for tat, and it's just a pointless kind of exercise. So you want to get away from these kind of flatlining sort of negative feelings. So you've got to do some things now that are going to make you laugh. If you need to have a good cry, I always talk about that too. The guides are saying have a really good cry. Sometimes that can release and disperse a lot of energies that might feel really negative inside your body. There's nothing wrong with that. Punch a punching bag, so many things you can do. You can even just go and have fun. I think people have lost sight of how to have fun these days. Nobody laughs anymore. These are kind of the messages that are coming through. You've got to find ways to have a bit of a laugh and enjoy your life, because life's very short and it's here to be lived. It's not here to be locked away and living in your lounge room and just watching the news 24/7 and getting fed a lot of information that I think a lot of us know is kind of very misleading. So that's definitely the message that I'm getting there. Oh, and I just want to say one more thing. I just want to shout out to a fantastic documentary that's just been made here in Australia called Battleground Melbourne, and it is an absolutely brilliant view. Go on YouTube and check it out, Battleground Melbourne. Make sure you watch the documentary. I think there's Q&As as well. But if you watch Battleground Melbourne, it is just an incredible documentary about the protest marches here in Australia and in Victoria, Melbourne. The capital city is Melbourne, and it's just amazing to hear the perspectives of the people who stood up for their rights, and it's just a great view. So please go and check that out, Battleground Melbourne, and it'll make you also, if you're in these countries like Germany or Canada or Austria or Netherlands or anywhere like this where you're feeling like you're being overrun, just know that there's other people out there who are also sharing and going through your experience too. So I just wanted to give that little plug to Battleground Melbourne, because it's a really fantastic documentary of people uniting and coming together. So go and watch that as well. Sorry, I just had to put that plug in because it was just a great documentary. I'll just get back to the reading. So I'm getting the word like heroes, heroes, heroes. And what they're saying, what the guides are saying, is that heroes are different things. A hero could be someone who just stands up to a bully in the playground, or a hero could be a brain surgeon who's saving somebody's life. What they're saying to me is that there's heroes in all different walks of life. We can't just keep putting people on pedestals, and I know this is definitely happening around the globe. We're hearing from like a small minority of people who are dictating our lives and telling us how to live, what we can and can't do, what people we can see, who we can't see, and this is just complete insanity to me. This is what the guides are saying, that this is like an unrealistic viewpoint of how people are wanting to live their life. It's like people have no say in how they're going to move their life forward, and I talk about that a lot because there's still a lot of confusion around these things, around mandates and what's going to happen. Are they going to keep implementing? Are they going to keep introducing new rules, laws and regulations, which is constantly happening here in Victoria? Daniel Andrews has just mandated the third jab to be able to go into a coffee shop, and that you have to have virtually the third jab now because the booster program hasn't really taken off. So he's pushing that agenda again. So there's a lot of this kind of happening around the globe. I'm definitely getting a lot of that kind of thing, that there's still that confusion of moving forward. That's very, very strong in the current energies. I get a lot around hate crimes. Hate crimes are when people have been vilified, they have been discriminated against, and I think we all know from past experiences that these things always come out in the end. So it might not be immediately, but I do feel like these things are starting to trickle out into society now, and a lot of these truths are starting to be heard. People are starting to find their voices. I don't know if you guys have discovered yet, there's a lot of sites now like Rumble and DuckDuckGo, and there's a lot of places you can actually see people's true life stories that aren't being heard on social media, that are being actually fact checked, and everything's being taken off. As we know, they're screening the media very, very carefully. So I feel like a lot of this is starting to trickle out now. These platforms are getting bigger and bigger, and I feel like there's like a real movement forward now in these areas where the truths have to finally come out. And it's sort of saying to me that honesty always wins out in the end. Like, people can lie and lie and lie and lie, but eventually you have to be a very good liar to keep lying, because you catch yourself out. So it's almost that kind of scenario is what they're giving me, where something's going to trip them up. And I notice that's already happening here in Australia. I've noticed that every week we get the figures, as I'm sure you do in most countries, but suddenly the unvaccinated numbers have really dropped in the hospitals, and the number of deaths, and the vaccinated has really gone up. But suddenly they're actually talking more about the underlying health issues that these people have, because they're trying to cover up that the numbers are changing. So it's kind of a lot of lies that are just, they're kind of lying and then creating another lie to cover up that lie, and that, and then another lie. But I really feel like with a lot of these other platforms and a lot of the things that are going on, that things are starting to be exposed. And I think out in society that people are starting to really start to see the cracks forming. There's a lot of question marks. I still talk about that. I'm getting a lot of question marks. And people are just wishing for the truth. I know that there's a lot of us out there that are wishing the truth would come out, because the lies and deceit and the deception is just unforgivable. And the thing is, it's not just about the lies, it's about how this has affected people's lives. People have lost businesses, they've lost jobs. I've lost friends, I'm sure you guys have as well. And it's a disgrace the way people are being vilified and discriminated against in this society. Gosh, here in Australia, they're dragging people off from coffee shops in Queensland and arresting them and throwing them in paddy wagons for serving the unvaccinated. And it's just complete insanity. I can't believe it's even happening. And that's something from the guides. The guides reckon the cracks are forming, and there are things that are really starting to sort of filter out and creep out into society now, that people are starting to talk more. And I'm getting that the ships are sailing, so I'm feeling like the cruise liners and the cruise ships are really ticked off, and they're really wanting to get going again. They feel like they've had the worst deal in all of this, that their whole industry has been like debunked and just shut down. And now a lot of people really love those things, and a lot of people rely on them for their work. Like, this has shut down a lot of people, and that's one industry that I feel like is really going to start fighting back soon, is the cruise liners. I feel like that industry really wants to take off, and they're kind of fighting that fight now. Well, if everybody's double jabbed and we're boosted, and you know, why are we not getting things back to normal? We were promised things would get back to normal, and I feel like cruise ships are going to be one of those things, because they're saying, well, people are flying around overseas and doing all that now. Why can't we do that if we follow the correct procedures and protocols? So I feel like cruise ships are going to be something that's going to start to come up in the media very soon. They're going to start fighting that fight to get their sort of themselves back going and fully functioning again. I feel like so many industries are going to suffer this year. There's going to be a lot of industries that are going to be halted. For some reason, I get the coal industry. This could be around a lot of miners' strikes. This could be around pays. I think people are starting to see that it comes back to the balance. I feel like miners and things like that, I mean, people always say they earn really good money, but when they're seeing what their CEO and what the profits and things are from some of these mining firms, I feel like this is when people are going to start rising up, and they're going to have a lot of strikes, and they're going to really push for these higher wages and that. I feel like that's something that could be sort of sort of bubbling on the horizon as well. And that could be around the globe as well, not just here in Australia. That could be something that's sort of bubbling in the background at the moment. I feel like a lot of these big industries, like those mining industries, are going to sort of push back against the big CEOs and the big profit making margins that just sort of don't make sense when these sort of people are the ones doing all the hard work, but they're not sort of reaping any reward. It's not like they make a huge profit and then they give them all a bonus. That's not been happening. So I feel like these are the kind of things that they might start to sort of strike and argue about, and the unions might step in a lot and sort of navigate that situation. And I'm getting to like be very gentle in your approach to people. I honestly believe that people are sincerely wanting to reconnect. It's a sincerity that I'm starting to feel, that people are wanting to feel their hearts. They're wanting to feel people. They're wanting to be kinder to people. And a lot of people have lost their way with that. And I think we have to have that compassion and that gentleness moving forward now, that we can detach ourselves and protect ourselves, but we also have to be gentle with other people too, as we expect them to be gentler with us. So always think about that mirror reflection too, like you'll get back what you give out. So try and come at these things from a more gentle and soft approach, because that's only going to make you feel better in the long run as well. So that's something that I'm getting through, is just stay in that gentle, compassionate kind of energy, no matter if the world's crumbling around you and you're the only sort of building left standing in an earthquake. Just be that little beacon of light, you know, with that little light going off on the top of you, and keep shining your light. Don't dim your light down, don't dull your light down, don't switch it off. Keep shining your light, because people are seeing it, and that is the message that they're giving me, is people are seeing your light and you're making a difference in this world. You're here to make changes, and if you've tapped on this video, you are making changes. So keep doing whatever you're doing that you think is right for you, right for other people, and like I said, just come from it with real sincerity and kindness and compassion. So look, thank you so much for watching today. I really appreciate all my subscribers out there. I love hearing from you guys. Please write to me below. Hit those like buttons. That always helps me heaps, and it keeps the messages going around. Subscribe to my channel. Like I said, I've got tons of videos that can help you around self-help, even to do with learning about body language. I've got a lot on there about that. If you're depressed, suicidal, feeling isolated, please check them out as well. And I will see you in that next video. Take care. Bye from Australia. Bye.